All right, let's get this show started!
RAFAEL FIZIEV will replace Dan Hooker on short notice to face Justin Gaethje in the co-main event of UFC 313 on March 8th. UFC CEO Dana White announced the fight Wednesday on Instagram Live. FIZIEV was one of the first to volunteer as Hooker's replacement, along with fellow lightweights Renato Moicano and Mateusz Gamrot. It will be a 3-round fight instead of 5.
This probably already went out and some of you already know, but the new co-main event for March 8th, UFC 313 here in Las Vegas, is going to be Gaethje versus FIZIEV.
Following the announcement, Gaethje provided more details on the booking, tweeting, "Armin and Charles understandably said no. Max and Dustin understandably said no. Moicano got the call and said no. Props to FIZIEV for volunteering to fly across the world and take this fight. Big risk here for me taking this rematch against an elite striker. Life's a trip. Best live show on earth going down March 8th. FIZIEV replied, "Nothing but respect. Let's put on a show." Also, Gian Silva gets his wish and will face highly controversial number 13 ranked featherweight contender Bryce Mitchell. The pair will fight on a stacked UFC 314 card in Miami, Florida, headlined by a fight for the vacant UFC featherweight championship between ex-champions Alexander Volkanovski and number 3 contender Diego Lopez.
It's Silva, who fought last weekend and had an unbelievable performance in Seattle, immediately calls out Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell immediately texts Hunter Campbell and says, "I want the fight." Ask and you shall receive, I guess. That's a fun one. I didn't want anybody to think we're putting a hit out on Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell literally texted immediately after he said it, said he wants to fight, so we're doing it in Miami.
Also, former light heavyweight champion Jamal Hill will face Khalil Roundtree Jr. in a 5-round headliner when the UFC heads to Kansas City, Missouri on April 26th. Both fighters look to bounce back from TKO losses. What do you guys think of these matchups? As always, let us know in the comments below. Karate Combat president has reacted to Bryce Mitchell's withdrawal from grappling match against Jewish fighter Eli Barzilai just days before Karate Combat 53. Mitchell cited an upcoming UFC fight as the reason for his withdrawal, stating that he wanted to prioritize his UFC career over the grappling match. Bryce also expressed his displeasure with the organization putting his fake photo on event's poster. Now Karate Combat president Asim Zaidi sarcastically responded to Mitchell's comments.
I want to deeply apologize to Bryce Mitchell.
Karate Combat, I love y'all, but still, you posted that CGI photo. Did up my ears and you did up my eyebrows, and the photo looks feminine.
Eyebrow, it just doesn't look good. It looks feminine, and pulling out of a match, I understand. I would pull out of a match if my eyebrow looked different too, so.
Y'all tried to queer me out, now I'm calling you out on it.
I've been president for 13 months now, and this is probably the worst mistake I've made as a president. Congrats. He doesn't know the details of his fight, but he has a big fight, which is cool. So I'm looking forward to his big fight. I think what makes me really sad is, the opponent, this fight meant a lot to him, really had some serious sentimental value to him. So he messaged me today that he's just absolutely heartbroken to hear this on social media for the first time. So I apologize to the opponent too. I hope to find a way to make it up to you. And it is our fault for again, editing the ear and the eyebrow.
Israel Adesanya's losing streak has been tough to watch, not just for his fans, but even for some of his peers. The former UFC middleweight champion, once one of the most dominant forces in the sport, has now lost 3 straight fights, including a knockout against Nasruddin Imavov at UFC Saudi Arabia. One unexpected person who feels for Adesanya is top UFC flyweight Manel Kape. The tension between Kape and Adesanya dates back to September 2023, just before UFC 293, when the two got into a heated exchange during pre-fight press conference. Now, in an interview with Demetrius Johnson, Kape admitted that despite the beef, he feels sad about Izzy's KO loss against Imavov.
No, I'm sad about Izzy. His last fight, I'm really sad. We have the beef, but he's a legend, you cannot. He was beating this guy. He was winning the fight. He was beating the fight, and I was sad. I said, because you see a legend like him falling down that way is pretty sad. I never wish anything for any man, that the step in the cage and have the results he had. it's pretty sad.
Following UFC Seattle, many including Michael Bisping took referee Jason Herzog to task for not taking a point from Song Yadong for his final eye poke against Henry Cejudo. If Jason Herzog did so, the bout would have been a majority draw and not a decision loss for Cejudo. That's something that Triple C is keenly aware of. Now, on his YouTube channel, Cejudo decided to call up Herzog. Triple C told him that he didn't make the right call. Surprisingly, Herzog agreed, stating that he could have handled the situation better and should have taken a point. You can watch the full conversation on Henry's YouTube channel. Link is in the video description.
Call Jason Herzog. Yo, what's up, Jason?
Sorry, man. No problem.
One, you didn't take a point, and then two, when I took the 5 minute break, and we ended up coming back to actually fight, like I still wasn't recovered, but that dude still came here, and you didn't do anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Luckily I couldn't see, or at least I saw four arms, but you never warned him, or you never took away a point, dude. Like,
I'll give you my perspective in a moment, and then just so you hear it. I'm not trying to say it's right or wrong, because I've heard you now, and I completely agree, especially afterwards when it came with his figures like this. Why didn't you then stop it and take a point immediately? And I think that's a very valid criticism and an adjustment that I probably should have made. Yeah, I think that you're a fair point.
you say these rules in the back, Jason. I think that's what kind of bugs me, is that you specifically did this and the whole thing, everything that you said happened to me, and there is no point taken away, man. I have a loss to my record, Jason, because you didn't make the right call, man, and that bugs me a little bit.
I can't say that you're wrong. And when I watch it again, I'm like, yeah, you should have probably stopped it, taken a point there.
Anthony Smith just went off on TJ Dillashaw again. During a recent appearance on the Jackson podcast, Bobby Green defended Smith and told Dillashaw that he was too harsh on Smith. TJ claimed Smith will never be a UFC champ because he doesn't have the heart and has a tendency to quit in fights. Green argued that you can't accuse someone of not having heart if they've made the walk as many times as Smith has. Now, on his MMA Today show on MMA on SiriusXM, Smith thanked Green for the kind words and completely went off on Dillashaw for cheating during his MMA career.
Definitely shout out to Bobby Green. I thought that was super cool of him. You know, but Bobby and I come from the same scene. We come from the same worlds, essentially. Like, we grew up different places, but we came up in the same disaster. My problem was and is not necessarily with what TJ said. It's who said it and how he said it. He said it trying to shit on me because he was being an asshole because he didn't like something else I said. And something I'm never gonna do is let someone who fucking cheated his way through his entire career ever fucking speak on me. Maybe I didn't have the same career that TJ Dillashaw did. I've never said that I did. TJ Dillashaw was a world champion. He was a phenomenal fighter with an amazing skill set that I think is absolutely amazing. I wish I could have at any point in my career fought at a fraction of the level that TJ Dillashaw fought at. He was so good. It's so much fun to watch. I looked up to him and his style and what he was able to do in the octagon. The second you fail a fucking drug test, I have no more respect for you. You're beneath me, and I don't give a fuck how many titles you win. I don't care who you beat, and I don't care how you look doing it. You never ever get the chance to speak about me and my career ever again, ever. I put Bobby Green above TJ Dillashaw, along with almost every other fucking person in the world. Everything you've done is now tainted. So you were in those fights and you won them, but now we're all real fucking unsure of how clean you were when you did it all. And that's my issue. Has nothing to do with what he did. Yeah, he's got a world title, and I respect that. He has a better skill set than I do. Totally respect that. But you're still a fucking cheater. And he never responds to that when I say that. Fuck you. All of the rest of us that are clean, that have done this the hard way, and I did it the hard way. Even if you didn't do steroids, my career was harder than yours. I don't give a fuck how long it took you to win a world title. You still cheated. And that's the issue, and that's where where my issue with TJ Dillashaw. This has nothing to do with what he's accomplished and what he's done. I've agreed that all of those things are fantastic and amazing that he was able to do it. But you're still a dirty, rotten fucking cheater. And you can never change that.
Here are the top 3 memes found on the internet. Number 3 meme was posted by Nafiz Hillman. Number 2 meme was posted by As Beef Snaps. Number 1 meme was posted by Old Enough. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with the latest MMA news.